Hey everybody, this is Claire and this is Small Joyful Things. As always, I go to thrift stores or I go to estate sales or sometimes I buy things from Craigslist and I try to find things that I think are unusual or interesting or that I think you might be interested in, and then I try to find out as much as I can about them and then I tell you guys about them. And here's what I've got today. And I'm sorry that I've kind of missed a few days. I've been rather sick. Probably changing the weather or something, but you know, migraines. But anyway, here's what I've got today. Hopefully you guys can see this pretty well. This is a splatter glass or spatter glass vase, or I'm going to call it a vase. I mean, although it does have the tiny little handle and it technically does have a spout, maybe you could pour from it. I actually think it's just about it. This is really decorative. This is definitely just like a vase. It's a decorative piece. Okay, so I'm just going to measure this up somehow. It's kind of big. Let's see. Let's just turn it up. It is about 9.5 inches high. And I'm going to be kind of eyeballing this here. Let's say about 5 inches across. There we go. I bought this in a thrift store for $15. I actually I saw it and I thought, oh, that's really cool. That's like spatter glass. That's so awesome. Now it was disgusting. Let me tell you, it was just in a terrible, terrible state. It was covered in grease and covered in dust, and it had that kind of sticky feeling that you get from essentially from something being in a kitchen for decades and just being affected by the grease that, you know, gets into a kitchen. I think it's probably definitely vintage. Now, the big question is going to be, is it Murano? And I think the balance of probability is that it's not. And it's basically this. It's like that base is just a little bit too rough, I'm afraid. Like, if this was actually Murano, I would expect it to be finished and it would be flat and it would be perfect. It's not. It has that slight roughness to it. It is not completely smooth, completely polished. Still quite nice. Probably not Murano. My best guess is that it may be Czech. It is a type, okay. And this is something I found kind of really cool. It's called spatter glass or end of day glass. And the really cool thing about this is that, like, it was essentially like a thing that glass blowers used to do. Is like after they kind of got, you know, they'd kind of finish up in the day, whatever was left over at the end of the day, they would essentially just, like, all these little chips of glass, they would kind of roll them all up onto a gather and then just blow something out of for the hell of it, okay? So in this piece anyway, you've got like this, like the inside, you know, the kind of the base of it or whatever is going to be just this plain clear glass. But then they would have had like a blob of clear molten glass, and they would have all of these kind of little chips of different colors. You can see there's like a red one just kind of thrown in there that they didn't take out or whatever. And there's another one around somewhere. Or maybe just that one. So what they would have done is that they just literally take the blob of molten clear glass, and then they'd have all of these little chips and bits and whatever else they had lying around, and they just literally just spread them out on the table, roll them all up on top of the gather, and then blow them into something like this. And in this case, what they did was that they had the blob here, and then they then pulled it and twisted it and turned it up into like this top part, and then shaped the spout there with this nice kind of edge of glass. And then the last thing we've done is put on the handle, which is literally like a blob here, and they catch it here, let it catch, and then essentially twirl this on the gather, and then run this around, run this piece around it, wrap it around it, around the actual neck of the vase itself. It's really interesting, and it's really kind of fun to look at. And I've seen various pictures of these. If I just leave that there a second. So this one I'm going to give you some idea of, like, this is specifically Murano spatter glass, but a lot of the time I've seen Murano spatter glass with this thing called applique. I'm not sure if there's actually the correct term for it. It's just something that I see referred to a lot, and that is just like with extra stuff added on, maybe something like that. This is like extra stuff. You kind of swirly or whatever like that, and you can see that that handle has been kind of added on both sides. And there, a little bit similar. And there's actually, there you go. Murano style in green, a ruffled lip and a bold base. And you can see that that one there is going for $80 Canadian. Like, very much like that. Similar style, similar thingy, similar spout, everything. Interesting. Now, I will say this much. They say Murano style, and that's because you can't really prove that it is. It's just the style. You can't say that it actually is that, and I don't think it is. I don't think the quality is right there for being Murano. There's another one that's like slightly similar. That would I say would be closer to what would be considered real kind of end of day glass. That's literally just a mix of everything, like a mishmash. Just throw everything that we've got, put it out on the bench, roll it all up, and try and blow something out of it. Oh, come on. Come on, Google. Yeah, but a lot of the times when I see the splatter glass, you can see, like, especially if people are going, like, if they're going for an actual effect, they'll have like this two-tone color, like, as opposed to the stuff which is just like as many different colors as we've got, and we're just going to throw them all in together and see what happens. They actually go for a particular style or go for a particular kind of look, and it'll just be like two different colors of chips or whatever. They actually just roll up. Or they go for something like that. That I think is actually close to being real Murano spatter glass. Absolutely beautiful. Anyway, so the big question is, like, is this actually worth like $80? Did I make a good score out of this? There's a problem, okay? And once again, I need to be paying more attention when I actually pick something up. And I should have spotted this. I was so careful running my hands around the rim looking for chips. It's broken right there on the collar. You can even see the crack right there. And it's rough. Like, I can rub my nail over that and I can feel like my nail catching. It is cracked, and it's quite badly cracked as well. I'm pretty sure that the thrift store that I got this from, they did not notice that it had that damage. It's kind of hard to see. I definitely didn't see it, and I didn't notice it because I never touched it there. I only kind of grabbed it like here, and I was looking here and everywhere, and kind of just, and definitely on the top, and somehow completely missed that. I would say that if it actually was in good condition, yeah, it probably could be worth about $80, because it is nice, even if it's not Murano. Again, I don't think it's Murano. I don't think it's quite got the quality of Murano. It's nice. It may be Czech, probably not Murano. But unfortunately, it has damage. And I missed it, which is unfortunate. It happens. I really should be more careful, or at least try and, be careful about looking through everything. I've gotten better at it, actually. I was looking at a green jadeite Fire King creamer that someone was selling in a thrift store, I think, for $15, and I thought that might actually be a good buy, until I noticed that it had a hairline crack through the base, and it's effectively, no, can't buy it. So what's going to happen to this? This will be given back to a thrift store, and I'm sure that someone who doesn't mind that it's damaged, hopefully they'll like it, will, yeah, it's nice to do a video about it. It's definitely nice to see it, and I do like the style of it. I mean, it's still very nice art glass, but I'm not prepared to sell something that's damaged, not unless it's something that's particularly unusual. And I don't think this is as unusual as as a piece that would have to be before I'd want to sell it while actually being damaged. I think it's just, it's kind of probably just vintage art glass made by an unknown maker, who probably not Murano. It's not going to be exceptionally special. It's just kind of nice. So here we go. It's still going to be my small joyful thing for the day. I hope you guys like it as well. Bye bye.